Good morning. It's February 28th, 2022. This is To My Liberal Friends, and I'm John Haddo. Last week I spoke about actions I thought could be taken vis-a-vis Russia invading Ukraine. I recommended some very strong sanctions along with going after the oligarchs, the big money people in Russia. And to his credit, President Biden has finally acted on some of that and forced some of these oligarchs to start squealing a little bit. The owner of the Chelsea Soccer Club in England, Roman Abramovich, another Russian oligarch, handed over control of his soccer club to a foundation because he fears it might be seized if he continues to have control of it. That's the kind of action you need to take. Then the pro-Putin Russian television personality, Vladimir Soloviev, complained Friday, and I love this, that sanctions might block his access to his property in Italy's Lake Como. And he said, quote, "Is this the Iron Curtain?" Well, wake up, Mr. Soloviev. Wake up and smell the roses. Your country, your President Putin, who you back, is invading and killing innocent civilians in the country of Ukraine for no reason. No reason at all. And so long as you want to back him, I wouldn't worry about going on vacation. I'd worry about keeping control of the property. Exactly. It might be seized from you. Then we have our allies in the Middle East. You know, I recommended that President Biden tell the Saudis they need to increase oil production to help out. But their response has been that they're not intending to increase it to bring down oil prices, and they intend to stick with the output agreement they made with Russia in the OPEC Plus format. Well, I would be on the phone to the king of Saudi Arabia and say, next time you need a sale for warplanes, don't call us. Next time you need help for something, don't call us. The United Arab Emirates, along with China and India, actually abstained on a U.S.-backed UN Security Council resolution deploring Russia's actions. Now, I can understand why China might have done that. They're aligned with Russia. They're buddies now. But the UAE and India? No, I don't understand that. They're supposedly allies of ours, and if they don't want to go along with us, then there needs to be economic sanctions start hitting them. The Emir of Qatar has called, quote, all parties to exercise restraint, end quote, but he does not condemn or blame Russia for what they've done. Who does he think has done this? Who does he think invaded Ukraine? Do you think it's Ukrainian people invading themselves? And then he points out that he can't increase his LNG, liquid natural gas, significantly or redirect it anywhere. So if our Middle Eastern allies are not going to cooperate with the U.S. in sanctioning Russia for its actions in Ukraine, the question inevitably arises, is our Middle Eastern allies worth support of the United States and the West whenever there's Russian aggression out there towards them or Iran? Somebody needs to give them a wake-up call. Now, President Biden, he's trying to act like he's being forceful, but he seems to go back and forth. On last Tuesday, he announced the sanctions that he'd ordered U.S. military forces into Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, all former Soviet republics, and you can bet potential Putin targets once he's out of Ukraine. Now, Biden said, quote, let me be clear, these are totally defensive moves on our part. We have no intention of fighting Russia, end quote. He then went on to say, quote, we want to send an unmistakable message, though, that the United States, together with our allies, will defend every inch of NATO territory to abide by the commitments we made to NATO, end quote. Now think about that. We're going to defend NATO, but we have no intention of fighting Russia. So what kind of signal does that send to Putin? Does it send a signal that, hey, you cross into any of those countries, the United States will be there with manpower, or we'll just have some economic sanctions against you? So how effective can that threat be when Biden says we have no interest in fighting? And second, if Putin turns his military or cyber attacks at any of these alliance countries, tens of thousands more Americans and NATO troops would be needed in those countries to stop Putin's march toward restoring the former Soviet Union. And that's what he wants to do. And Biden needs to get out of the house in Delaware, get into the Situation Room, get some good advice, and figure it out. Because Putin is not going to stop. He's calling his bluff. And it's going to take severe economic impact, not just the United States, but all of the world, to force this idiot back into his corner, get him back into Russia. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.